When buying a car, we want it to be truly good, which is why we choose a specific one. But there are some cars that nobody buys because they simply aren't worth buying. In this video, we'll talk about American cars that nobody wanted to buy. Number 15. Jeep Cherokee. When Jeep reintroduced the Cherokee name in 2014, expectations were sky high. Instead of a rugged, boxy SUV in the style of the legendary XJ, buyers were met with a sleek, car-like crossover. While the design was modern, the split headlight styling was polarizing from the start. The Cherokee's standard 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine delivered 184 horsepower, adequate but far from thrilling, even with the available 3.2-liter V6 producing 271 horsepower. The Cherokee's 9-speed automatic transmission was plagued with rough shifting and reliability complaints. Off-road capability was still respectable in Trailhawk trim, but most models were built for city driving, where competitors like the Toyota RAV4 and Honda CR-V outshined it in comfort, fuel economy, and resale value. The Cherokee became stuck between two worlds, not rugged enough for Jeep purists and not refined enough for crossover shoppers. By 2023, declining sales and increased competition led to its quiet discontinuation, making it another forgotten chapter in Jeep's history. Number 14. Ford Thunderbird. The Ford Thunderbird revival in 2002 was meant to capture the retro charm of the original 50s icon. At first, it did. With its two-seat roadster design, retro styling cues, and convertible top, it turned heads. But excitement quickly faded. Powered by a 3.9-liter Jaguar-sourced V8, producing 252 horsepower, performance was merely adequate for a luxury convertible, with 0 to 60 miles per hour times in the mid 7-second range. The soft suspension made it comfortable but not sporty, leaving driving enthusiasts underwhelmed. Interior quality felt dated even when new, and the price tag, was starting near $40,000, made it a tough sell against more engaging sports cars and luxury convertibles. Despite a strong first year of sales, demand plummeted, and Ford discontinued the Thunderbird after just 4 years. Today, it's mostly remembered as a nostalgia-driven experiment that failed to resonate long-term with buyers. Number 13. 2020 Dodge Journey. By 2020, the Dodge Journey was one of the oldest SUVs on the market, with a design dating back to 2008. Dodge kept it alive by slashing features and pricing it low, making it one of the cheapest 3-row SUVs available. Unfortunately, the cost-cutting was obvious. The 2020 model came with just one engine choice, a 172 horsepower 2.4-liter four-cylinder paired to a 4-speed automatic transmission, a setup that felt ancient in a world of 8 and 9-speed gearboxes. Fuel economy was poor, acceleration sluggish, and interior materials cheap. The infotainment system lagged behind competitors, and safety ratings were mediocre. While it offered decent space for families on a budget, most buyers opted for newer, more efficient rivals. Dodge quietly discontinued the Journey after 2020, and it quickly faded from memory as one of the most outdated SUVs still being sold in modern times. Number 12. Ford CMax Hybrid. The Ford CMax Hybrid arrived in 2013 as Ford's answer to the Toyota Prius, promising hybrid efficiency with a more upscale, European-inspired interior. On paper, it was a strong contender. A 2.0-liter Atkinson cycle engine paired with an electric motor produced 188 total horsepower, offering quicker acceleration than the Prius. However, the CMax's real-world fuel economy fell short of its advertised 47 miles per gallon rating, with many owners reporting closer to 37 miles per gallon. This discrepancy hurt its credibility. The tall, hatchback-like body style gave it a roomy cabin, but styling wasn't universally loved. Early reliability issues with the hybrid system and Ford's infotainment software also turned potential buyers away. By 2018, sales had dwindled and Ford pulled the plug without a direct replacement, leaving the CMax as an ambitious but ultimately unsuccessful attempt to break into the hybrid market dominated by Toyota. Number 11. Oldsmobile Aurora. The Oldsmobile Aurora debuted in 1995 as the brand's flagship sedan, aiming to bring a modern, luxurious image to a nameplate that was struggling with relevance. Its 4.0-liter V8, derived from Cadillac's North Star engine, produced 250 horsepower and provided smooth, refined acceleration. The Aurora had futuristic styling for the mid-90s, with no traditional grille and sleek aerodynamic lines. Early reviews praised its ride comfort comfort and quiet cabin, but it was expensive for an Oldsmobile, and buyers often chose established luxury brands instead. Reliability issues, especially with the engine and electrical systems, further tarnished its image. The second generation, 2001 to 2003, failed to capture the same design flair and saw declining sales. When Oldsmobile was discontinued in 2004, the Aurora went with it, remembered as a stylish but flawed sedan that couldn't save the brand from extinction. Number 10, Chevrolet Avalanche. The Chevrolet Avalanche, produced from 2001 to 2013, was GM's bold attempt to blend the practicality of an SUV with the utility of a pickup truck. The signature mid-gate feature allowed the rear cabin wall to fold down, extending the truck bed into the interior. Clever in theory, but not enough to make it a sales hit in later years. By the time the final generation rolled out, its hefty curb weight, bulky size, and poor fuel economy, 15 miles per gallon city, 21 miles per gallon highway, made it feel outdated. The 5.3-liter V8 provided solid towing capability, but driving dynamics were more floaty than precise, and parking in tight spaces was a challenge. Its styling divided buyers, and the market began leaning toward more fuel-efficient crew cab pickups. While the Avalanche had a loyal following, it never managed consistent mainstream sales. By 2013, GM pulled the plug, cementing it as a unique but largely forgotten chapter in Chevy's lineup. Number 9, Mercury Mystique. The Mercury Mystique, sold from 1995 to 2000, was essentially a rebadged Ford Contour aimed at the mid-size sedan market. Initially praised for its European-inspired handling, thanks to Ford's global Mondeo platform, it still suffered from cramped rear seating and a bland design that failed to stand out. Engine options ranged from a 2.0-liter inline-4 to a 2.5-liter Duratec V6 producing 170 horsepower, but neither made the Mystique a performance standout. By the late 90s, its outdated interior tech and limited space hurt its competitiveness against imports like the Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. Reliability concerns, especially with transmission and electrical components, also damaged its reputation. Sales never took off, and Mercury discontinued the model in 2000. Today, the Mystique is a forgotten sedan that was neither bad enough to be infamous, nor good enough to be memorable. A car that simply disappeared into the background of American automotive history. Number 8, Dodge Dart. Revived in 2013 after decades off the market, the Dodge Dart was supposed to give Chrysler a serious competitor in the compact sedan segment. Based on an Alfa Romeo Giulietta platform, it promised sharp handling and European-inspired refinement. Unfortunately, it never lived up to expectations. Underpowered engine options, including a 160 horsepower 2.0-liter and a 2.4-liter Tiger Shark 4-cylinder, delivered sluggish acceleration with 0 to 60 miles per hour times hovering around 9 seconds. The manual transmission was rare, and the automatic felt unrefined. Interior space was decent, but material quality and fit and finish issues made it feel less premium than rivals. Fuel economy was mediocre for its class, and early reliability complaints drove buyers away. With compact car sales declining in favor of SUVs, the Dart was discontinued in 2016 after just a few years on the market. Despite its bold revival nameplate, it's now remembered as a missed opportunity for Dodge rather than a compact car success story. Number 7, 2020 Dodge Grand Caravan. By 2020, the Dodge Grand Caravan was a relic in the minivan world, a design dating back to 2008 with only minor updates. While it offered a budget-friendly price compared to newer competitors, it lacked modern safety tech, upscale interiors, and the smooth ride of rivals like the Honda Odyssey or Chrysler Pacifica. Its 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 produced a respectable 283 horsepower, but the outdated 6-speed automatic transmission hurt fuel efficiency, averaging just 17 miles per gallon city. The interior stow-and-go seating remained a highlight, allowing seats to fold into the floor for massive cargo space. However, safety ratings lagged behind newer vans, and its crash test performance was a concern for families. By 2020, buyers wanted more advanced infotainment systems, quieter cabins, and better ride quality, all areas where the Grand Caravan fell short. FCA finally retired the model that year, ending a once dominant minivan's long but outdated reign. Number 6, Pontiac GTO. The Pontiac GTO's 2004 revival brought excitement to muscle car fans, but it never found mass appeal. Based on the Australian Holden Monero, the GTO offered impressive performance, a 5.7-liter LS 1V8 with 350 horsepower, and later a 6.0-liter LS 2 with 400 horsepower. It could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 5 seconds, but the styling was underwhelming for a legendary nameplate. Many critics said it looked more like a generic coupe than an American muscle icon. The high price tag, combined with a bland interior and limited trunk space, made it less appealing than rivals like the Ford Mustang or Dodge Charger. Fuel economy was poor, averaging 16 miles per gallon city, and Pontiac's weak marketing failed to capitalize on its performance credentials. By 2006, the GTO was discontinued, leaving behind a cult following but never achieving the sales numbers Pontiac had hoped for. Number 5. 2019 Buick Cascata. The 2019 Buick Cascata was marketed as a premium European-styled convertible that would bring some excitement to Buick's aging lineup. On paper, it had promise. A 1.6-liter turbocharged inline-4 producing 200 horsepower, paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission. But in reality, it failed to deliver the refinement and performance expected at its price point. The Cascata weighed over 4,000 pounds, making acceleration sluggish. 0 to 60 miles per hour took nearly 8.5 seconds. The soft top roof looked elegant but added wind noise, and the interior design felt outdated, borrowing heavily from older Opel models. With mediocre fuel economy, 20 miles per gallon city, 29 miles per gallon highway, and handling that was more floaty than sporty, it never connected with younger buyers or loyal Buick fans. The $37,000 price tag pushed it into competition with far more capable convertibles, sealing its fate as one of the slowest selling American cars of its time. Number 4. Ford Flex. The Ford Flex, especially in its later years, was a unique-looking crossover with boxy styling that stood out in a sea of rounded SUVs. Introduced in 2009 and running until 2019, it had the option of a 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 pushing out 365 horsepower. Strong numbers for a family hauler. Yet, by the late 2010s, its charm had faded. Buyers wanted more modern designs and better fuel economy, and the Flex's 16 miles per gallon city rating for the EcoBoost model was a deal breaker for many. Its interior was roomy and comfortable, but the dashboard tech aged quickly, making it feel behind competitors like the Honda Pilot or Toyota Highlander. Sales declined steadily until Ford pulled the plug in 2019. Despite its practicality, the unusual styling polarized buyers, and it never found a large enough audience, turning it into one of the more forgotten entries in Ford's modern history. Number 3. Pontiac Aztec. The Pontiac Aztec has become infamous for its polarizing, even awkward design. Released in 2001, it was intended to be a versatile, adventurous crossover with unique features like a built-in camping package, a tent option, and a cooler in the center console. Under the hood, it carried a 3.4-liter V6 producing 185 horsepower, paired with a 4-speed automatic transmission. Performance was uninspiring, with a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of about 9 seconds, and the ride quality was more minivan than SUV. The Aztec's biggest problem, however, was its styling. Buyers simply didn't find it attractive. Sales plummeted, and despite later gaining cult status after appearing in Breaking Bad, it was discontinued in 2005. Consumer Reports ranked it poorly for reliability, further damaging its reputation. Today, the Aztec is remembered less for its practicality and more as a cautionary tale in automotive design, a vehicle that could have been a hit if not for its controversial looks. Number 2. Chrysler Pacifica. Before today's well-regarded minivan, Chrysler's first attempt at the Pacifica in 2004 to 2008 was more of a crossover wagon, marketed as a luxury alternative to SUVs. While it offered a spacious interior, leather seating, and upscale trim, it fell short in several critical areas. The base 3.5-liter V6 made just 250 horsepower, struggling to move the Pacifica's nearly 4,700-pound frame. Fuel economy was disappointing at 15 miles per gallon city, and the transmission felt outdated even for the mid-2000s. Reliability issues, including suspension problems and electrical faults, plagued the model, hurting consumer confidence. At a time when buyers were looking for efficient, modern crossovers, the Pacifica felt heavy, slow, and expensive for what it offered. Despite later becoming a respected minivan name, the original Pacifica remains one of the most overlooked and least purchased American vehicles of its era. Number 1. 2022 Chevrolet Spark. The 2022 Chevrolet Spark was one of the smallest and cheapest new cars in America, starting at under $14,000. It had a 1.4-liter four-cylinder producing just 98 horsepower, making it one of the slowest cars in its class, taking over 11 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour. While its size made it great for city parking, it was cramped for passengers, and the interior materials felt bare bones. Safety ratings lagged behind competitors, and the lack of advanced driver assistance features hurt its appeal. By 2022, buyers expected more tech, comfort, and power. Even in budget cars, the Spark's limited highway capability, noisy cabin, and underwhelming performance made it unappealing to most consumers. Chevrolet discontinued it in 2022, leaving the US market without a true microcar option. While it had loyal fans who valued its low cost, the Spark ultimately failed to capture mainstream attention.